Hey everybody, me, Mr. D. Today I'm going to talk to you about these coupons that you get from various companies that come with your statement. I'm getting a lot of people saying that they don't work for them, and I said this in a video I had before that no, these don't work for everybody, and it's really not it's not completely your fault why it doesn't work. It's part of the school system, and I'll get into that. You know, with the job that I have now, or the contract, whatever you want to call it, I go into these schools and I work with different kids at different levels, and I notice that there's one thing in common. There's a certain, I would say, how do I say it? It's just a certain atmosphere that they all share, and it's that teachers stand there and tell you what is true and what isn't, and they remove all critical thinking. All school systems are program centers. I mean, and this starts all the way from the very beginning. I mean, some of these, I've been in two pre-Ks, I've been in a kindergarten, I've been in a fourth grade, and there's a common theme, and it's that it's almost like the teachers are not there to teach, but to discipline the kids, to keep them in control, being lockstep with each other, almost like in a prison. Because I notice when the kids travel through the halls, they travel in a straight line. When it's time for lunch, they're told what to eat. They're told when they're going to eat. It's kind of like a prison is. You can't go to the bathroom unless you have a hall pass. Everything that you do is controlled, and the school systems are the same way. And that's why, when I was in Seattle, we used to call it the school to prison pipeline, because we dealt with the inner city kids, and they come from a place where they have to survive. They fight, they struggle. And inner city, I don't mean just black. These are Hispanic, white. I mean, kids that had issues, and their lives are totally different than what is projected when they come to that school. So, you know, when we talk about discharging debt and we talk about using coupons and things like that, there is more to the process than just sending the coupon back and expecting them to accept it, because the government doesn't work that way. And obviously, you're seeing that. You know, um, John D. Rockefeller created the school systems, and he created it for a reason. And he had a quote. His quote was, "I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers." And the school system was designed based on, his philosophy. He put millions, like, $200-300 million into the school system, so these teachers would understand that these students are to be taught how to work and never taught how to think. And that's why these kids are not problem solvers. That's why I was a little different when I was in school, because I questioned everything. And I don't know why, I just didn't believe anything. Even to this day, I question everything. But most people don't do that. And the reason I have success with most of my processes, I do, because I don't I don't go by what I am told. I do my own research and I find loopholes. It's like one loophole that I help people with when they have tax issues. And it is, it's what is it, Title 15, Chapter 41, Section 4, line 1692. If you put that when you're dealing with the IRS, it's a title that says that, show me that I have a contract where I said I'm going to pay you. And I mean, you can shut down a lot of IRS situations with that, but that's just stuff that I look up. I don't take no for an answer. And what I'm getting from a lot of people is that, well, this system, it doesn't work. Nothing works. Well, and then I get some to say, wow, Mr. D, thank you. This really worked. And it's because those are the people that have an entrepreneurial type of mind. They are problem solvers. They see a problem and they'll say, okay, there's got to be another way around this. And that's just how this whole thing works. That's why I tell you that you need to find out who you are and use your methods in dealing with this. So I look at, I go back to the school system. I look at how we train these kids to regurgitate whatever is said. You go up there and you say, United States was founded by so-and-so. And then you come to find out 20 years later, it's not true. That like they told you Santa Claus delivers shit to your house, for good Christmas. That's not true. But when you're little, you believe that kind of stuff. And subconsciously, you carry this stuff into your adulthood. So when you go to school, you are taught to be in lockstep. And if you step out of line, you get punished. And that's why when you do a presentment and something doesn't work the way you want it to work, you're like, okay, I need to find someone to tell me what to do. And that's just not how this life works. You came here to study this particular realm, to be an observer and find your own way. That's what this is about, finding your own way. And along the way, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And that teacher may not even know that he's your teacher or she's your teacher, but they're there to help give you knowledge or to point you in the right direction. We're not here to solve your problem. We're here to point you in the direction where you can start reading and going from here to here to here. And then you find, oh, I just saw that I know what to do now. It's the aha moment that I'm trying to help you guys get to. And when you start, coming to me like, hey, what are you doing? You need to call me right away. Hell no, I ain't doing that. I do this for me. I've been doing this 20 years. I started this way back when I had to fight a foreclosure. And I've been doing this for a long time, and I had to find my way. I listened to different people. I tried different things. And then when I was able to bulletproof myself by learning that every time you get charged with something, they're looking for money, and that I had a way to resolve that problem with an exemption that I had waiting for me, that money is sitting there for me to use to stay out of jail. Man, I said, I can do anything now. And that's where you guys should be right now. I told you in previous videos that you have an exemption. And anytime you are charged with something, a charge, what is a charge? You go to the grocery store to buy milk, they charge you for the milk. So you pay, now you can take that milk and leave. And that's the same way the system works. You get indicted. The indictment is a true bill. Sign that, set it for value and send it back. You go, when you get charged with something, all they're saying to you is that here, you pretend that you are how do I say this? That you work for a corporation and you run the supply department, and they need to send invoices to you so you can sign off on, so they can go out and purchase whatever they need for their office. So you're down in the basement and you're the supply operator or whatever, manager. And so supplies manager, anyway, that's what I mean. But they'll say, you'll get something on your desk that say, we need you to send, to sign off on this so we can purchase new computers for the accounting department. Your job, sign off on that. Now they can go ahead and do what they need to do. And if you look at it that way, every time you get charged with anything, all they're trying to do is get you to give them your signature so that they can discharge the debt. And I know that, a lot of times they ignore what you do now. These corporations they're upside down. They're not right. They don't do the right thing all the time. And that's because they know they can get away with it because the school system taught you that, you can't critically think and figure out how to get around what they're doing. But, you submit this paperwork, and all of a sudden they send you a letter saying you still owe it, even though they didn't send it back to you. Now, what is a contract through acquiescence? If you send once you send that coupon off, it's done. It's done. You've satisfied your obligation. So you send the coupon off, they get the coupon, they process it. Then they send you a letter saying you still owe us. You know what you should do? I don't like giving that finger, so I'll do this. No, you don't. It's done. And so what they'll do, and because they're so crooked, and I consider them, I don't want to say evil, but they're leeches, they're parasites. So what they'll do is they'll report it to a credit agency. Now, now it's on your credit. What do you do? What do you do? You don't call me and say, Mr. D, it's on my credit down. No, you address that. You say, okay, it's on my credit report. What do I have to do? Oh, I can Google some video, on YouTube, some videos and watch how they got this stuff off of their credit reports. That's what I did. I learned all this stuff online, and then I went a little bit further. I started looking up laws that deal with, the Fair Credit Collection Act, Fair Debt Collection Act, sorry. And I found out different things I could do. So one thing you want to do is you want to approach those credit bureaus and say, look, you need to verify this debt to make sure this hasn't been paid, set off, or settled. Because once you send that coupon out, it has. So you're going to send them a copy of everything you sent to settle this debt and say, look, now you're going to tell me that I don't have the right to use HJR 192 to set off and settle my debts? Now, this is what you say to credit bureaus. You say, look, dude, all right, so here's your first letter. This is where you go into the private administrative process. You send them 3 letters. And at the very last one, you say, okay, look, you haven't taken this off my credit yet. So now you're purposely trying to harm me. You're not staying in honor, but yet you want me to stay in honor. So guys, you don't stop when the first door closes, because every time a door closes, guess what? A window opens or another door opens. That's just how it is. But you just have to be still long enough and quiet and go, oh, I just heard another door. Then you turn and look to that way. But the answers are always there. The answers are there for you. So it's up to you. My life, and I tell you all the time, my life is good. I get whatever the hell I want to get, and it's been that way for a long time. I discharged my debt. I just discharged 4 credit cards. They put it on my credit. What did I do? I wrote a letter. I wrote a letter to the CFO. I challenged them. And I said, if this is not on my credit by a certain time, and you also got to be willing to take it to that next step. And I was. You follow a suit. And they don't want to do that. They'll take that off because you're one person out of millions, So, and anyway, they took it off. So my credit report reads now on all 4 of those credit cards, a total over $22,000, or yeah, $32,000. So anyway, all they did, they said, okay, we're going to just leave this dude alone and go ahead and discharge these debts. So now my credit report reads paid and closed, paid, closed, paid, closed, paid. All 4 of the cards I discharged. Now what happens, it will drop your credit score because you get rid of a lot of your credit. But then they turn right around and make you more offers. It's a system. And you've got to learn how to play the system. But anyway, and back to, I'm gonna go back to Rockefeller, what he said. Rockefeller's a 1%. These people are the ones that don't have to work. They don't go through the same stuff we're going through. Rockefeller and Rothschilds. These people are 1%ers that, if you go back into the Constitution, go back into law. Let's look at law. If I sign a contract with my next door neighbor and we say, you know what, this is for our posterity, or for me and my posterity. And if you don't know what the word posterity means, look it up. But it's my relatives, my descendants. So in a Constitution, that's what they signed. They signed it to us and our posterity. It was the Declaration. Anyway, I think it's Declaration of Independence. Anyway, I'm kind of off right now, but it's one of those two. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's Constitution. But anyway, they said to us and our posterity, and posterity is our relatives. It's our bloodline. That's why when you look at the 13 ruling families, they all come from a bloodline. You know, you'll have this bloodline, this bloodline, this bloodline. That's why there's so many, the Kennedys, you have the Rockefellers, you have the Rothschilds. All their descendants are wealthy because the contract, they were all part of the contract. You weren't. That's why you struggle. That's why you have got to become a critical thinker and learn how to handle your business. So anyway, I mean, I can just ramble on, but I'm not. I'm still stuck on the Constitution. Anyway, I'm sure y'all will leave a comment or something to say something in there, but that's all right. I read the comments sometimes. Most of the time I don't, because I really don't go by that. I do this just because I feel that I need to help. And anyway, so you guys, if you want to, you know, if you do want to contact me, that's totally up to you. But if you just send me an email and say, look, give me a call, I need to talk to you, that ain't gonna happen. I don't operate that way. What I'll do is send you to a Cash App or to my site to sign up, and then we'll talk. But I will answer your text, email, and give you, you know, my quick explanation on how to settle your problem. And after that, then you'll have to, you know, pay me to have a consultation. But anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So, you know, I hope you guys get this, but just remember, you have to become a critical thinker. Even though the school systems did not give that to you or teach you how to become a critical thinker, life will, you know. And if you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth, then your life is okay. But if you didn't, like us, me, all of us that are listening to me right now, you've got to become a critical thinker and think for yourself. You know, I can tell you as much as I can, but shit, go look this stuff up. All right? Anyway, this is Mr. D, Mr. D's Classroom. Remember, happiness is the choice to choose to be happy, and you are whatever comes after I am. Have a wonderful day.